Welcome to Bicycle Retail Radio, presented by the National Bicycle Dealers Association. Bicycle Retail Radio brings together retailers, vendors, advocates, and thought leaders for honest discussions about the latest issues facing bicycle retailers. The podcast dives deep into the challenges and triumphs of the bicycle industry, providing an in-depth look at the person behind the profession. Aiming to deliver content that's both relatable and thought-provoking, offering real-world tips and insights to help you find success in the bicycle industry. There's a human side of the business, and the podcast aims to share stories, experiences, and strategies that you can apply in your own shop. Whether you're looking for inspiration, practical advice, or a sense of community, you've come to the right place. The National Bicycle Dealer Association has a rich history of supporting retailers across the nation. Founded in 1946 with a mission to strengthen specialty bicycle retailers through education, through research, through communication, and through advocacy. The National Bicycle Dealer Association is proudly supported by our members and our membership. If you'd like to learn more about the benefits of joining, please visit nbda.com.
Get ready to embrace the future of specialty bicycle retail. The NBDA Retailer Summit Central in Bentonville, Arkansas is your gateway to operational excellence, financial growth, and long-term success in an ever-evolving industry. From insightful panel discussions to hands-on workshops, you'll explore strategies for profitability, innovation, and embracing trends like e-mobility. In 2025, it's not just about selling bikes. It's about building a smarter business, engaging with your community, and setting the standard for the future of retail. Let's make it happen. Visit nbda.com to secure your spot today.
All right, listeners, thanks for being here. I'm thrilled to share this conversation with Anthony, National Sales Manager at BikeCo. We talk about BikeCo, how they support specialty bicycle retailers. We discuss the portfolio of iconic brands, their approach to warranty management, some great stuff there. We talk about D2C, what makes top performing dealers successful from Anthony, who's visited over 1,000 retailers. Pretty cool. This is a great conversation. There's lots of great things in here. Good to know BikeCo and thankful that they're part of the MBDA community. I hope you enjoy. Anthony, welcome to Bicycle Retail Radio. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
No, thanks for having me.
Oh man, I feel like this is long overdue. You have been an MBDA member for quite some time, showing up to our mingles, getting involved in the community. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I really like being part of the community. I think it's really important as a distributor and as myself. I've been in the bike industry for a long time, so um, I just love people and bikes.
It's fun to be around people, right? And talk about best practices, what you're seeing out in the marketplace. Full disclosure, when I first met you in BikeCo, I was not aware that you were the US distributor for Fuji bikes, SE bikes, Breezer bikes, and Tuesday cycles. So in coming on the podcast, my goal today is like, not that I think if I'm not aware that other people aren't aware, but to make sure that we know that get the community aware of what's happening. SE bikes, I feel like have just completely exploded, and there's lots of good things you're doing. So yeah, appreciate you volunteering your time. And I don't know, podcasts can be fun, right?
Yeah, I like them. I thoroughly enjoy doing podcasts.
It is fun. Let's get to know you maybe a little bit more before we get into the whole business side of things. So you're a cyclist. How'd you get into the industry?
Wow, so yeah, I've been um, cycling has been part of my life since I was a wee lad, right? And like grew up on bikes and um, I've just my first uh, intro to the industry was my first bike shop job way back when I was a kid. I think like 13 or 14. I was putting grip tape on skate decks at Carbondale Cycles down in Carbondale, getting paid in stickers, which has started my lifelong sticker collection. And then, like, I would say my first real bike shop job was back in '96 at Village Cycle Center in Chicago. Just went there to be a salesperson part-time while I was looking in between jobs and ended up staying for a while and got sucked in.
You do get sucked into this industry. I mean, I went to culinary school. I was going to be a chef, right? And here I am, 46 now, and I'm loving where the journey has taken. But you are a cyclist too, right? Like, do you like to get out on the weekend and go for some good rides?
Yeah, between my wife and I think we have like 26 bikes right now. We're currently living in Fort Collins, Colorado, at the base of Horsetooth Mountain. So I can leave my garage and go mountain biking. We just built up two new bikes to start doing some bike packing on. We do a lot of gravel, commute around town on bikes. We ride our SC big wheel cruisers after work. I have many different bikes that we just like to ride.
Bikes in the garage, bikes on the base.
Actually had to build a shed for more bikes, and then I was told that if there's no more room in the shed and the garage, we cannot get any more bikes.
Oh, another dud. But how from let's just get a little more granular. So local bike shop working, that's where you got your start. But how does that lead you to become national sales manager at BikeCo?
Oh wow. Village Cycle was like my first start into sales in the bike shop, and I was there for a few years and then moved on to another industry. I've been in several different industries besides cycling, and I've always been in sales, leading teams, and managing people. And left Village to go, I think at that time was the automotive or NewsWeb ink manufacturing. Either way, um, did that for a little bit, and then decided to open my own business. And when I did that, I needed some income. So I resigned from my managerial position at this ink manufacturer and then started my own company, but then went back to Village Cycle Center part-time to help make ends meet. And shortly that turned into full-time. That turned into being a manager of the store, then service manager, then doing purchasing. Then I really moved into the digital space for Village and helped redesign their website and move them into social media and really build their web presence. Um, from Village, I went off to be the GM at a different bike store that had three locations around the Chicagoland area. After that, I went to another shop to run their e-commerce business. Uh, Post that shop, moved over to Avis Mobile Security, so on onto the manufacturing side, the brand side. And for Avis, I was the Eastern sales manager for 3 to 4 years and covered everything east of the Mississippi. So a lot of traveling, a lot of traveling, about 120 flights a year. Um, and then while I was at Avis, I met a guy named Jeff Sonkrant who gave me the opportunity to become a partner in a mountain bike brand, which was pretty much a dream come true because I love dirt, I love bikes, I like creating and leading teams. Eminent Cycles had just taken off in 2017. I came on board in 2019, and we all know what happened in 2020. So crash course on everything on the manufacturing side for mountain bike. And unfortunately, in the market downturn, I think about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, we ran out of funding. Eminent closed the doors. And just over a year ago, I started with BikeCo as the national sales manager. So my 1 year anniversary was last month.
What a journey. Oh my God. As you were telling the story and you were creeping up on that 2019, I was like, I feel it. I feel what's happening.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I love when I get to work with people who work on the supply side who started in a specialty bicycle retail environment. And as you were saying, you weren't just sales, you were service. And so you really have that knowledge. So when you're working with retailers today, I truly believe that that experience helps you shape those conversations that you have with retailers so you can best serve them. So I absolutely love, that people like yourself, started in the retail, started with the specialty bicycle retailer. So quite the journey you had, man. Quite the journey.
It definitely makes a difference. And that's something that we have at BikeCo is a lot of the people that are in the organization have all spent time in the retail side of the business. So they know those special like needs that the shop has, and really can help us tailor the way that we do business to be more of a partnership.
Yeah, having that ability to relate and understand like what the challenges are and what some of the wins are is really important. So let's dive into BikeCo. So how did BikeCo form? Because honestly, like I've been in the industry for years and I hadn't heard of it. So I got you got to give us a little bit more about the history there.
So most people will remember Advanced Sports or ASI, right? And ASI was the distributor for Fuji SE Tuesday prior to the bankruptcy, after the fallout with Performance. And what I like to say is BikeCo is the phoenix that has risen from the ashes of the ASI bankruptcy. So we have some of the same people in-house leading the company. We have some different people that have joined forces with us. And BikeCo as a company, we actually own the brand Breezer and another brand that some people may remember, Kestrel. We own Kestrel. We're just currently not doing anything with it at now. And we are the distributors for Fuji, Tuesday, and SC. And something new for us is we are a sales agent for Blaupunk e-bikes as well. So we've added another brand to our portfolio.
That's fantastic. And so, I mean, I'm looking at like SE, Fuji, Tuesday, like even Blaupunk, because we've been working with them at the MBTA for a few years now. These are great brands. Like how is business, I guess, as we're in early 2025 for the brands? Is there any models or highlights that are really standing out for the brands?
So, SC is its own creature, and that so
Like,
those bikes,
like boom, right? Like, oh, wow.
uh, you so we'll have 1,000 bikes show up on a couple containers, and they will easily sell out in 2 to 3 minutes. It's insane how fast these bikes go.
Two to three
Outside of the
minutes.
SC,
2 to 3 minutes.
yeah, it's
Wow.
Uh, we had 70 bikes show up that sold out in under 30 seconds, and it's like a sneaker drop or getting concert tickets. It's kind of insane, but it's really a lot of fun to be part of that brand.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Fuji really focuses on bread and butter, right? So we are value driven, really high quality products that focus on what dealers really need. Kids bikes, hybrids, entry level mountain bikes, entry level road bikes. We get into the higher end road bikes, and those platforms are really good. But what we really do well is give dealers high margin bikes that perform well and fit their needs.
Yeah. Where's the US distribution? Like just get let's get a little bit more granular if you would. Do you warehouse in
Mhm.
one space or maybe a couple or
Two, East Coast and West Coast. Yeah. So the East Coast warehouse is ours. We own that. And then the West Coast that warehouse is a 3PL that we utilize to give our Western dealers faster ship times.
so smart, so smart. And then you work with sales reps across the US to serve your retailers?
Yeah, we when I came on board, one of my first priorities was to build out the outside sales team to cover all of our dealers nationwide. And I think we currently have about 12 outside salespeople, and have the majority of the US covered. There's just a couple spots that I'm still looking for the right person. But yeah, we have
Listen, if you're listening, reach out to Anthony.
yeah.
Um, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and then yeah, we back that up with a dedicated inside sales team too. So we really try to be everywhere the dealer needs us to be, and accessible. And really, relationships are important, and outside sales reps are extremely important to really building that relationship.
It's refreshing to hear, in a world where we're looking at different, omni-channel, right? There's different ways to do business. I know from spending, I'd say the past year, having you in our member mingles, part of the MBDA community, I've seen you show up for the conversations, take part in the conversations, and really support the retailers on the call, actually, regardless if they work with you or any of the brands you sell. You're just an awesome human. Um, You've mentioned a couple of times about the strength of relationships, that you have these sales reps, as we were just talking, to serve the dealers and support them. What are some of the highlights of the ways that BikeCo does that?
So we're not just in there kicking cans and taking orders. We really work with our dealers to provide a service to help them grow. We realize that our success is wholly based on the success of our dealers. So um, our focus is to help make our dealers successful. And we do that in different ways with our easier to use programs, low entry barrier into entry into the brands. One dealer app gets you access to all of our brands. The reps are consultants, and a lot of these people, actually, I think all of them are very, very passionate about the industry and have been in it for a while. And they have a lot of knowledge that they are very much willing to share with people if they would like to hear it from us. Right.
I love it. I mean, listeners, we will link to the BikeCo website in the show notes. But you can see like front and center, BikeCo is a top place to work for several years. Even the president, Frank Zimmer, there's a video of him on the website. Really gives you a glimpse into what BikeCo is doing. And then, as Anthony said, like one dealer app gets you access to multiple brands, which I think is really, really cool. And then, yeah, if you're looking to even be more involved, I like that you can just apply or send a resume to BikeCo right from their website. So we'll make sure we link to that in the show notes. Yeah, I don't mean, Anthony, it's April, right? 2025 tariffs are hitting. Like I feel like we're just like in this weird point right now in the industry. Like how are you? How are you doing with everything going on? Just kind of catching you off guard with this one, but oh my gosh, right?
Uh, we're good. We were very responsible about how we managed the reduction of our inventory overstock over the past few years. So we didn't blow out any buy one, get one freeze. And we tried to do it in a manageable way so that our dealers didn't take a hit and we didn't take a hit. And now that excess inventory is like bike shop gold right now because it's all pre-tariffed. It's bread and butter bikes that dealers are going to sell, and customers honestly don't care if it's the same color from the previous year. We don't use model years on our bikes, so they don't get devalued at the end of the season. But it is going to be a challenging time deciding on where we bring bikes in from because one, we don't know what the tariffs are going to be next week or next month. It's just it's roulette, and you really can't bring in bikes that are going to get hit with a tariff, like 100% tariff from China, that will just put them past the point where the consumer just won't buy the bike anymore. So it's a very delicate balancing act on what we're looking at bringing in and when.
It's such a delicate balancing act. Yeah. And I like to hear that you've kind of managed things, to date. And I agree with you. The inventory that we have in stock right now, I mean, that's like gold, right? So, um, well, let's get into it a little bit more. I was on the BikeCo website and then I went to some of the brands that you work with websites. And I do see that, D2C, it's a topic we talk about. I don't, and I like to talk about it because I don't want retailers to shy away from brands that do have direct consumer as an option because direct to consumer, I think, gives us more eyes on product, helps meet people where they want to, where they want to shop. There's opportunity always for retailers to take part in profitable opportunities. So I just want to kind of get your take on D2C, the relationship between brands and retailers. Where do you think it's going to take us? We had, I don't know, I don't think, were you at any of the cabinet shows, Anthony? I don't think I saw you.
Yeah, I wasn't at the summits that you had, but I was at the shows.
Oh,
Um,
awesome.
and after I saw the turnout for Summit West, I got some FOMO, and I'm going to be there next year. I will be at the one in Bentonville,
Oh, great.
and I love that one, and I will definitely be West next year because I was like, "Wow, look at that turnout!"
It was great. Like 200 people. But
I know.
at the cabinet shows, there was a couple great presentations. I don't know if you saw them. And it was a retailer giving a seminar on how D2C saved his business. Did you see that?
Yeah, he was right next to our booth actually. So I did get to hear it. I didn't get to see it, but yeah, I got to hear him talk about it.
Yeah, right. So I just want your take on the D2C model and how you see this playing out and maybe retailers who are listening, how they can work with brands to make it really a win-win for all.
Yeah, D2C, it's about balance, right? It's using the D2C channel to strengthen our total ecosystem and not compete with our dealers. And as we move forward, it is an omni-channel approach. We need to be where our customers are shopping, whether that be in the store or online. And we know that all shopping decisions usually start online, and that's where people are researching, that's where they're looking. We have more resources to have bigger, more robust websites than a lot of our dealers do. So we we do have a D2C channel, but honestly, it's a small portion of our business. It's currently about 10% of our business.
Oh,
We are looking to grow it to around 20, and the reason for that is pretty strategic for us because that gives us a little bit more profit to allow our dealers to have the larger margins that they do have. I mean, it takes money to run the business, so we have a very small margin on our B2B side, but we make a little bit more on the D2C side that can offset that and help us just maintain what we're looking our dealers that are used to is the strong margins they rely on. Um, Something that we do is we're partnered with locally, so that way when a customer is on our site checking out our bikes, they can instantly find that bike that they're looking for in their local dealer. So the dealers can share their inventory online with us, and the consumer can see exactly what the dealers have in stock. They can buy it online for pickup in the store. They can reserve it online for pickup in the store, or if it's a bike that the dealer doesn't stock, the customer can order click to brick, order it online, get shipped to the store. Now the dealer is making money on that bike. They've got a new customer. We really want the customers to go to the dealers. I mean, the majority of our D2C sales are in areas where we don't have dealers.
yeah.
Um, I mean, we're not everywhere, so like the dealers aren't everywhere, so we try to make ourselves accessible for the customers, but really we'd rather have the customers going to the shop to get that full experience, to make sure the bike's put together correctly, be able to add on some accessories, and now they have a place to come back for service, and build a community around that customer.
I totally understand that. I don't know if you know that I have a history in the supply side, and when we were getting any motorcycles launched, there was big gaps on the U.S. map where we just didn't have retailers, but we had customers who wanted to buy the product. So we always wanted them to go through the retailer, and we want the retailer relationship was the most important thing to us. And it was like this challenge that we were trying to figure out. So it's just making sure your product's available to people regardless of where they're located, but ultimately, the hope is to get them into the retailer because we know where where those great relationships are formed, and that after customer support. So truly, truly resonate with what you're saying there.
I love the bike shop. It's I can't, I just love visiting shops, going to shops and being in bike shops. And I want people to get that same experience and feeling. And you don't get that clicking online. You get that going into the store,
Yeah.
smell the rubber on the tires. You
Oh yeah,
get
I love the rubber stuff. It's true. So,
and then
are you in shops these days? Are you out visiting the stores too?
I spend every 2 weeks of every month on the road with our outside reps visiting shops. I actually just hit a milestone on my last trip where I visited my 4,000th bike shop, different shop,
Wow,
not repeats. I keep track of how many shops I've been to. So, yeah.
that's absolutely fantastic. Like, so what are you hearing then right now? What are maybe some challenges you're hearing?
Um, so, the challenges that people are that I see repeatedly are one, shops. struggling with marketing their business, or marketing themselves as a brand, and two, getting people to come into the doors, right? And
Foot traffic.
these, yeah, and I mean, they're very much related. Marketing yourself as a brand, not so much marketing the brands that you sell because those could change. And really, there's shops out there that are doing an amazing job of marketing themselves as brands. You know their names. I don't even know what brands they carry half the time, but they're
Mm.
like the trusted voice in the community and have built community around themselves and are doing a really good job at becoming more than what they carry.
Yeah, yeah. What about I don't know, maybe some wins or retailers that you see are doing really well? Like, is there anything that stands out that you might share?
Um, so my last
I
trip,
know,
I
picking your
visited,
brain. Sorry.
yeah, it's like there's some I love very like every shop I've been to is different. Like every single one of them is different. And uh I've been to some dealers that are not just bike shops, but they also have like bar and grills built into it, and they're like expanding from outside of just the bike shop itself, to bring in a diverse range of customers. They're doing bike packing trips with their local fly shop, so they're going fishing on bike packing trips. Is kind of cool. But overall, some of the shops like Landry's, like there's like this iconic brand that everybody, if you're around the Boston area, Landry's.
Oh, yeah.
And most of the people in the area couldn't tell you what they sell. They just know that brand, right?
Mhm.
Uh, Wheel and Sprocket, Village Cycle Center in Chicago, Cozy's, like these are all iconic brands that have done a good job of developing themselves over the years. And like most people just go to that shop or those shops or their local shop because of the name of the shop. And the shops have the ability to sell product that they believe in that gives them more margins, not just these big brands that have a lot of marketing push for their higher end stuff, but like, at the bread and butter level, these customers are coming into the shop with a budget in mind, not with the name of a down tube in mind. So they're coming to the shop for their knowledge, experience, and trust.
I like that. Yeah. More than yeah, more than the brand name on the down tube for sure. We did this consumer research. We surveyed. Did you see that yet, Anthony? In December, we surveyed 1,000 consumers, and we asked purchase preferences, what they want to buy, how much they want to spend, where they want to buy it from. It's free for MBDA members, so it's in the member resources, the
Oh,
survey results. You should check it out. Really, what brands, like there's a lot of great data in there, how often they get their bike serviced. But overwhelmingly, consumers wanted to shop at the specialty bicycle retailer. And there was like three or four reasons. The one is just their local community involvement. Two was their service and expertise, and then the ability to test ride product too. So that selection and test ride. So pretty interesting stuff that we came back with. And I see what you're saying. Like more and more retailers are doing these like outdoor areas where customers can be part of the community and like hang out after a bike ride. Or some retailers are even installing like where you can rent a bike at any hour. So it's like an outdoor covered facility where you can rent a bike like, 3 a.m. in the morning if you want to from the store and return it. So, or store or drop off for services outside of regular hours. So, some cool stuff happening out there.
yeah, there is, with the uh, rise in bicycle tourism, rentals, mountain bike travel, like this stuff is growing and it's given retailers a couple different avenues for profitability in their shop. Like rentals are starting to pick up quite a bit, and it's people don't always want to travel with their bike. It's a giant pain in the backside, and you just want to be able to get to where you want, rent the bike you want, go for a ride, drop it off when you're done, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I'm all about rentals now. I used to when I was racing, like all about break down my bike, carry it with me. Now I'm all like, I'm going to the local shop and I'm just gonna rent one. It's so much easier. Um, What about, all right, so here's one that comes up often in our P2 program. When we're looking at retailer profitability, sometimes working with brands can be challenging, um, specifically regarding the warranty process. So a lot of man hours might go into doing warranty processing that's not covered by the brands. And it can be like, I don't know, it can be just a headache for retailers. BikeCo works with several brands. I'm probably putting you in the spot. I don't even know what your warranty process is, but how do you guys handle warranty process? Is there ways that you're making it easier for the retailer?
We try, warranty is one of those things that, nobody really wants to deal with, but when the situation comes up, it's how you handle it that really makes the difference for you, the brand, and the customer. And like I've said this a lot of times that every brand or manufacturer has issues, right? And it's inevitable at some point that there's going to be a warranty arise, and it's how they address it that really sets them apart from everybody else. And that's kind of how we approach it at BikeCo. We have a no questions asked policy. Our goal is to get the issue resolved, the rider back on the bike as fast as possible. We have like a little through the B2B, there's a warranty submission ticket, right? You put your ticket in. Usually we get this resolved or in process within 24 hours. And keep in mind we're small, we're not one of the big guys out there. We think there's like two people in our warranty customer service department. So they're not only doing warranty, but they're answering all the customer service emails, and we're pretty fast on our response times. We also have something that is kind of faded away for most everybody else is we have eligible labor credits on warranty repairs. Yeah,
Wow.
right.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. It's huge.
Yeah, like it used to be the norm. Well, used to be, I'm aging myself in like the late 90s, early 2000s, and then everybody kind of did away with that. But the dealers are putting time and effort into evaluating the issue, and if it is a warranty, it's our fault, right? So the dealer shouldn't have to pay for that. So we have some credits available for some of these warranty repairs.
That's huge. Thank you for that. That those things make great relationships for sure. Um, let's see. What else should I ask you? What about any trends you're seeing? Is there anything that you're seeing? I'm still hung up on 4,000 shops. That's huge.
And I leave on Monday to go add some more to the list.
And you're right, they're all different. They're all different. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Any trends you're seeing though that you think are important for people, retailers, or just the industry to keep an eye on? Like anything you're seeing out there?
I mean, the biggest one, and I'm sure people are tired of hearing about it, is e-bikes, right?
Mhm.
E-bikes, we are at the beginning of what is about to be a large movement in the US. If you look globally around the world, to Germany, Amsterdam, these different cities and countries, e-bikes are huge. They are a part of life. 70 to 80% of all bike sales are e-bikes in Germany.
Mhm.
And so here in the US, we are definitely starting to see an uptick in that. And uh, shops really need to embrace it. I've been to a couple dealers who are just like, I don't want them in my shop. I don't want to work on these bikes. And the
Yeah.
guy down the street's like, I will take all of your e-bike customers. Now, I'm not saying you have to work on every single e-bike that comes in the door because some of them just, honestly, as we all know, can't be repaired. They were like bought on Amazon and it's going to turn into a giant boat acre. But if you engage with that customer, when that bike dies, you have a high probability of getting them onto a bike that can be repaired now that they know these differences, right? And I'm seeing this as a huge avenue for growth for shops. There are certain shops that you walk into it, and you can tell they have a really good focus on e-bikes. They have the
Mhm.
service department is clean and shiny. That's another one we can talk about, but need to update the service department. It needs to be clean. Like these customers, a lot of them are ditching the car, right? And they have an expectation of what a service department looks like. So if you go to the GM service department or Ford or whatever, that's their expectation, not to walk into a dark, cluttered, um,
Yeah.
curmudgeon-y service department.
I agree with you. We actually had a retailer in our P2 program who's been part of the P2 program, which is our peer-to-peer learning groups since like 2017. So he's been in the program for several years now, and he was totally against e-bikes. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. And so like 2 months ago, he said, "All right, I've brought my first e-bikes in." At the group kind of like telling him this is the next step. And yeah, business has like just boomed with e-bike sales. So he's
Uh,
like, oh my God, I get it now. Thanks.
yeah, e-bike customers will bring you another customer within the next week almost. Like they bring that bike home, their neighbors get on it, they love it, and then they come in pairs and couples and it's exciting and fun to see people get on bikes that usually wouldn't get on bikes or give people accessibility to places and it's just a good avenue for growth in the shop, right? So it gives yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you talk about profitability too, I mean, e-bikes are sometimes larger ticket items. You can get, I've seen retailers sell not just the bike, but a bunch of add-on accessories with the e-bikes. And usually it's always a one e-bike and then a friend or a significant other or someone else. So they go in pairs. Anything you're seeing there too, just to,
Oh, definitely. When I was running the shop, we like these customers are used to buying cars or vehicles or motorcycles, and on the ticket is the bike, and then the lock, and then the cages, and then the accessories. I mean, you put these on the bike to start off with, and add it to the ticket. So when they're shopping these bikes, this is like the upgrades that come with it. Um, Something that's really cool that Abus does is they supply a lot of the lock cylinders to e-bike manufacturers. So if you get an e-bike that has an Abus Plus key on it, you can actually order the lock to be keyed the same as the bike. So there's only one key for the lock and the bike. And
fun.
if yeah, if you have e-bikes in your shop with those cylinders on it, I highly encourage you to pre-order those locks and just put them on the bike and then sell it with the bike. The
Yeah.
customer is going to need a lock, and if they can get one lock that has the same key, it's usually an instant add-on sale.
Thanks for the tip, Anthony. You're just I like it. Um, anything new? Anything coming down the pipeline for BikeCo in the lineup? Any like I don't want you to spill all the beans, but any new models, any new programs, anything that you're focused on for this coming?
Well, that's kind of like BikeCo Fight Club. And the first rule of BikeCo Fight Club is we don't talk about BikeCo Fight Club.
Fun, fun.
But in all seriousness, we do have some really cool stuff coming this year. It's been like I mentioned earlier, it's been a few years of trying to move out some old inventory and open up some cash and get us some cash flow so we can actually start bringing in some new fun and exciting products. And we have something from every brand coming down the pipeline this year. Can't really talk about it all quite yet, but
First rule is we can't talk about. I just
yeah.
the other day. That's so funny. I love that. All right. Well, I'll let us kind of leave it there. But for retailers who are listening and maybe interested in any one of your brands or want to get involved with the great things that BikeCo is doing, are you still accepting new retailers? And what's that process like? Is it easy just to go on the website and apply to be a dealer, if you would?
Yeah, there's a link on the website that you can, it's not like our dealer application, but it will definitely, it asks you all the upfront questions and then it'll drop you into our CRM and your outside rep will be contacting you immediately. You're always welcome to drop me an email. I'm available for everybody whenever, as long as I'm not on a bike or camping. So,
Well,
um, yeah, it's pretty simple, and we are, we're expanding, we're growing. We've been signing on average about 15 to 20 new dealers a month. So our outside team is out there doing a really good job. And we just, we've been strong in the East Coast for a long time, and we've been strong on the West Coast, but like Middle America has been left without outside representation and for a while, and our outside team is doing a really good job of reaching out to old customers, bringing them back into the fold, and visiting new doors. We're seeing a lot of new shops open up, so it's an exciting time.
I love that. That's a lot of new retailers each month. Maybe Anthony, then for listeners to the podcast who might have questions or want to follow up with you, you did say you would share your email address. Can you vocally share that with our?
Yeah, it's A Mikrut, my last name Mikrut at thebikeco.com.
Awesome. Anthony, I really truly want to just thank you for being such a great member of the MBDA community. It really is important that we have brands, retailers, suppliers all coming together for conversations, and you've been just diligent about attending our Mingle events and really lending your voice of support and ideas and best practices. So thanks. And thanks for volunteering your time to come on the podcast.
Oh, it's been great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. And with this, we go.
Thank you for tuning into Bicycle Retail Radio, presented by the National Bicycle Dealers Association. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, please like, subscribe, or leave us a review. Sharing this podcast with your friends helps us reach more listeners and continue to bring you the best content. Remember, we host 2 shows per week with ever-changing guests and fresh content to keep you both informed and inspired. The National Bicycle Dealer Association is committed to providing valuable events, webinars, and opportunities for industry education and connection. Stay up to date by visiting nbda.com to see our event calendar. Special thanks to Francis Abbott for the promotional graphics for today's episode. If you're interested in advertising on Bicycle Retail Radio or have a guest suggestion, visit nbda.com to learn more. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time on Bicycle Retail Radio.